of the week.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Hey folks, Captain Bob Humphrey here with another Southern Maine saltwater report. With the early June temperatures falling, the fishing is really starting to heat up down here in southern Maine. Stripers have finally made their turn. It usually takes them about a week once they flood into Saco Bay. It takes them about a week to make that turn around Cape Elizabeth and flood into Casco Bay, but they're here, the schoolies anyway. Down in Saco Bay, it's a totally different story. Captain Sean Tibbetts at MaineTunaFishing.com reports that the stripers are stacked up in Saco Bay right now. In the early mornings, he says they're seeing schoolies 18 to 22 inches on the surface, feeding throughout the first half mile of the Saco River. And bigger fish, their biggest so far is 31 inches, are starting to feed on both live and chunk mackerel. And I've also heard reports of bigger fish down that way as well. Mackerel fishing around Saco and up in Casco Bays has been hit and miss. Usually the mackerel are in by now, by the end of May and into early June. They should be in good numbers, but they seem to be hanging offshore, and that may be an artifact of a lot of herring, still small herring, that were in the bay but then moved back outside. So the mackerel we're hoping will come in sooner and provide some more steady fishing for us. As far as the ground fishing, it's just on fire everywhere. The traditional spots like Jeffrey's Ledge are producing mixed bags. Sean Tibbetts reports pollock, whiting, reds, cusk, and limits of haddock are pretty easy to come by right now. I'm finding the same thing up our way on some of the ledges. And then as you move in closer to shore, within striking distance of some of the smaller boats, the center consoles, cod are just stacked up. Again, you can't keep the cod right now, but they're fun to catch, and in between you may catch some nice pollock and the haddock. They're starting to move in a little bit too within striking distance of some of the smaller boats, so don't be afraid to hit the inshore ledges, east cod, west cod, places like that. Probably the biggest news this week, and not unexpected, is that the stripers have finally hit the Kennebec, and they've hit it with a vengeance. My friend Dennis Sace reports a really aggressive night of fishing, feeding frenzy on the river, fishing mostly the 18 to 22 inch range, which is again also not surprising because last year that big glut of schoolies that came in was in the sort of 15 to 17 inch, so it's probably the same year class. They're a little bit bigger this year, and it bodes well for the future as well as for the present. And if you're striper fishing in the Kennebec, the Sheepscot, the Androscoggin, remember right now until June 30th, it's catch and release only, artificial lures only. The possession of marine bait, dead or alive, is prohibited until June 30th. That's going to do it for this week, but the bottom line is the fish are here. It's time to go. If you have a boat, get in it and get out on the water. If you don't, fish from shore or hire a guide, but go fishing.
You don't have to lie, life's too short to work all the time.